Is there a question while it's Jim?
What kind of security issues do you run into with widgets?
Security issues? That's a great question. And I know why you asked that, but I don't think there are any yet. I mean, anything obvious, because it's just running client script code that we're already running. So the same things that apply to any JavaScript that's running on your browser, those are the same security risks you're running with widgets. Because that's all it's doing is it's just a JavaScript library as a running. So if your browser settings are set to allow you to allow it to get to your clipboard and things like that, you still have the same concerns.
All right, is there any advantage to the YouTube widget or using that for, let's say, just or something?
That's a great question. And now, the roadmap that I see going for the media modules, we're going to actually render in widgets. So that way, when the media module runs, it's going to use the widgets as a backend. So that's one of the main things for it. So that was my example when I said this is the YouTube widget would be really good for, or using embed widget to do YouTube video would be really good for module development. Because you can actually come up with like a library tool of some kind and to dynamically pull in those YouTube videos. And so that's like one of the main things behind it. Because other than that, it's just a really great example. Because you obviously can just copy the code off their website to put it on their page. So right down here we see our, right down here we see the, what do I call it, social bookmark widget in action. It rendered, we have dig on here, we have, which one's that? DotNetNuke, is it? Oh, delicious, yeah, there it is right there. And then I have DotNetNuke, and right next to it we have Facebook and all that stuff. So let me show you what that looks like real quick. Now this is the code that I said I wasn't going to write here. Okay. So we have to give it our own namespace. So instead of your company dot whatever, this is whatever company dot widgets. All right. Very similar to what you do with the module. And then same thing as we start going through the code. We got RESTHub.widgets instead of DotNetNuke.widgets, all right, as we go through it. So then I set a few default values of things that if you didn't set, they'll set for you. And then we have some obvious parameters that we can use. The base URL for things, so that tells the widget where to find images in this particular case. So I know if you're using .NET where is that particular file at, and so on. And so we have show, and so this allows me to say I want to show div, or I don't want to show div, if it's true or not. Right? So that's where this goes through. So once this is put out there, you all can use it for whatever you want to. You'll be able to very easily add and remove your own if you wanted to modify. Like right now, just dig, it goes ahead and sets the attributes that you can find on the website, and then renders. So I have it for each of the particular social bookmarking services that you saw on the page. So that's very simple, right? Now the actual code. Style scribbler, that was great. We're going to see that in a second. You'll see a locator. There it is. All right. Social bookmarks. So just like the other ones, we can give it an ID, still .NET client, but here's where you have to pay attention to naming. This is why I gave so much emphasis on it before. RESHub.widgets, right? And whatever the widget name is. All right? So that's where it gets wired up in the back end, where it goes and looks for your particular widget. Because it's going to immediately see that it's going to have, what it's going to look for in the back end with the .NET core JavaScript is it's going to see that this has dots in it. So it's going to automatically know it's not a .NETNuke widget. All right? So from that point, it's going to look for ResHub as a company name. So it's going to look for that in the folder. It's going to look for ResHub, right, using your namespace. And then it's going to look for the name of the widget, so it knows it's going to go in there, and it's going to find the name of the widget. All right, does that make sense? There's no documentation on that yet. Figure that out on your own. All right. So at this point, and I put this one in the skin because I needed to use a server-side tag because I needed to find out what the URL was without having to do any kind of recoding or reinventing the wheel. So that's what I did for this particular one, is to get that one working. I'm sure that the DNN client API has something else exposed that does exactly the same thing. I just haven't looked it up yet. All right. So basically, you see with my particular example widget, we got show whatever true. I put false in there. So that's a custom widget. Honestly, I have spent a total of maybe 10 hours learning widgets. That's how easy it is. I'm not a JavaScript wizard. I do not claim to be in any particular way, shape, or form. I do not know it. I was able to get this done. That's how easy they made it for us. It's incredible.
You're going to tell us it's in the book?
Of
Of course, you just edited the
Actually,
book, so-
Ryan did cover widgets a little bit in the book. In fact, my rotator example, I couldn't get it to work exactly right at first, so I asked him for a little input, and he was able to send me something real quick to get it working right. Yes, widgets were in the book. Did I write that? No. I did technical editing on 4 of the chapters. I didn't do the whole book, which is good and bad. It takes a lot of time to tech edit, and there's not a whole lot of money in it. You get a little word in the book that has your name on it. So.
What's the name of the book?
The name of the book? Actually, we have coupons right here. All right, so let's get through this real quick so we can do Q&A. Now, to develop widgets, you have some resources available to you. JavaScript is obvious, HTML, the DNN client API. Take advantage of it. All right, they did a whole bunch of stuff that you don't have to do. The most important one is jQuery. jQuery is it's okay. And some other client APIs, like if you need to import like Facebook stuff or things like that, where you need to take advantage of other JavaScript libraries, you can use that as well, as long as you modify the current port field and import the tags. All right. Now, this is a side note. This is kind of cool because if you are not planning to move to .NET 5 yet, or you want to use jQuery as some of your UI development, you can. There's already a jQuery integrated to 491. So you just have to import the script, which is already in the .NET default install. But unfortunately, you can't do widgets in 491. All right. So we went over this briefly and how to do that. Kind of ran out of time because I didn't time manage this correctly. I apologize. And went over that. Okay. Until there's real documentation. Okay. That's what I would try to do to show you where the source was. You want to get familiar with the source. If something's not working just right, and we do this already with modules and whatnot, go look through the source. See the steps that's going through, and Firebug allows you to step through it. There's a debugger for JavaScript in there. So that's very, very useful. Let's see here. That's an important point. I said to package up your widget. You technically don't have to. You can just drop the files in this folder structure that I just told you and then put the object tag on there. It'll still work. Do you want to do that? Maybe on your own private site. If you're distributing the widget, I wouldn't suggest doing that, especially if it's somebody else doing this software. This is support. All right. To explain Firebug. Firebug is your friend in this case if you're going to be building widgets or troubleshooting somebody else's widget even. Until IE 90 developer out there somewhere comes up with a Firebug equivalent. Sorry, that's if you don't like Firefox. Sorry. Use jQuery whenever possible. Here, I did a blog recently on using jQuery, and this is the first day I used jQuery. I needed to change the default selection on a list box, and anybody ever do that before, client side? Change the default description? Okay, I see a couple nods. That takes at least 10, 15 lines of JavaScript code, and it takes a long time to write that sometimes, all right? Unless you already have someone copy and paste it. 2 lines of jQuery. It was super simple. It was awesome. All right. Some resources. These are really cool. DotNetNuke blogs is one of my favorites on here because it puts everybody's blogs into one spot, mine included. We got all the core team members, the core blogs. So DotNetNukeBlogs.com is a really excellent resource for you to go to because that gives you everybody's stuff. You don't have to have a list of RSS feeds. All right. Of course, a few to note is Nick Caliani, Ryan Morgan, and Joe Brinkman. They're all very heavy into jQuery and in a lot of cases the widgets. So they're very cool to look at. And of course, there's fullscroll.com. That one's all right. So that's all resources, and thank you. Oh, that's one of my favorite little pictures. So if you have any questions, let me know. Anything?